I think this Buff team is. I think they're getting ready to roll. It's going to be a big season for them. So let's move into recruiting. Let me pull. I'm gonna pull something up real quick. A chart of the commits that have for this 26 class committed to CU. Let's get that pulled up. So hopefully we can see all that. But here is the list of players that have committed to CU. So let's start there with Preston Ashley. So total right now we have there's 9 total committed to Colorado, with a couple more on the horizon here. A couple commit dates here on the horizon. The Buffs are they're doing great right now. We look at it. There's 2 4-stars I should say 3 4-stars. The 2 Domata Peko Jr. So he's an edge. His dad is the defensive line coach. Same name, just take off the junior. But he is a 4-star recruit coming from junior college. So we'll talk a little bit about him. But the Rodney Colton Jr. linebacker, that was a couple weeks ago. Preston Ashley, 4-star. So these are your 3 4-star recruits coming in. And again, these depend on where you get your information from, whether it's on 3, 24/7. Want to call it Rivals, but Rivals and on 3 merged. But these are the guys that we have. Carson Crawford, linebacker. Gavin Miller, tight end. That was, I want to say, around a month or so ago. Damonte Tim, safety. Colobby Johnson, linebacker. Maurice Williams, cornerback. Xavier Payne, offensive tackle. So just to dive a little bit more into them, let's start with Preston Ashley. So he, for the 2026, he's 214th national, number 21 cornerback, and the 9th rated player in Mississippi. This dude, so he committed on mid-June 24th, I want to say. Explosive, twitchy corner, elite athleticism, strongman coverage skills. Ashley, he flashed physicality at the line, sharp instincts in the open field, a natural competitor with high upside. So this dude fits perfectly in Deion Sanders and Rob Livingston's defensive identity. Again, they play a ton of man-to-man. Preston Ashley, he is going to succeed, excel. Really great fit right there. Now, the next one, Rodney Colton Jr., so linebacker, another 4-star. He's ranked number 239th nationally, number 15 linebacker, and the number 23rd in Georgia. So number 23rd overall recruit in Georgia. This dude is a huge recruit. There's been lots of comments. There's been lots of talk about him. About Coach Hart not being able to get him in that into the linebacker room. They got a 4-star here. This dude, prototypical modern linebacker, fast, instinctive, comfortable in space. So about 6'1", 220 pounds. Again, he's not the biggest name yet. He fits, again, the mold of this defense. Real high character. I would say year 1, you probably see him a little bit touching the field. And then year 2, you're probably looking at him year 2 on as a starter. And again, like every kid coming out of high school, need to add strength, need to hit the weight room, but Swayze will get him, he'll get him into shape. And that's their strength and conditioning coach. Fantastic. He's doing an amazing job. Just gives them another piece, versatile piece for their linebacking. Real quick to the questions. CU alum here. Will there still be Disney-like magic this year? I don't know what you describe as it, but I still think there's going to be some fireworks. Again, Amari Miller is going to be a household name. We can talk about a couple, as we go through the position breakdown, that running back room, a player that the Buffs got in the transfer portal from Incarnate Word. Real excited for him. So lots of states represented up there. Nice to see recruiting outside of Texas, Florida, California. Lots of good talent in other states. Absolutely. And I think, you start to see this trend a little bit. Last year, I believe the top 3, Texas, obviously, Florida, Georgia, and California was sitting at 4th for the most, the highest recruits. But yeah, I think, as you can see, prime his staff. So Box, Coach Phillips, they're hitting the recruiting trail right now, all over the place. There was a point during the middle of the summer where one was like in Georgia, the others were in Southern California. They've been putting in that work on the road, getting players into the Colorado program. So not working their tails off to get these on the recruiting trail right now. Let's continue with this. Let's look at Gavin Mueller, tight end. So South Elgin, Illinois, 3-star. So I believe last year was his first year playing football. This dude is huge. So 6'5", 255 pounds. Just a massive, massive kid. Tons of growth still. Again, he's entering his senior year. I'm really excited for him. This is going to be one of those tight ends that come in, and we are going to see him grow right before our eyes. And by the end of this thing, I think even by the end of this year, he's a 3-star going into his senior year. You'll see him as a 4-star by the end of it. So physically imposing tight end, background in track and field, shot put, so good athleticism for his size. Again, started playing as a junior. So I would say these are kind of interesting. With the kid this big, he's going to what he needs to, from the film that I watched, one of the spots that needs to work on, and again, this will happen. Just the blocking and physicality of it, and but he is really good. He can be physical at the line of the scrimmage, getting off press, getting off of those kind of things, and then box out defenders. He turns into a basketball player that goes up and gets the rebound when it's thrown at him. But really excited for Gavin Mueller. That's one to keep an eye on. Our next one is Carson Crawford, linebacker out of Carthage, Texas, 3-stars. So I want to say it's him and Edwards, running back that visited CU over this early summer and was just like, this is about to be RBU. Edwards, not Dylan. I do want to say Dylan Edwards. That's our friend over there at Kansas State. But this dude, 6'3", 215 pounds, number 724 nationally, number 52 linebacker, and the number 99th overall player in Texas. And again, Texas, if you're new to the recruiting world, talking about it, that's the mecca of high school football, where recruits come from. So being number 99 in Texas is that's huge. That's a good football player. So he's a versatile linebacker, played multiple positions for a successful Texas high school program. You kind of start to wonder a little bit if he gets overseen because of the running back there that we talked about, Edwards. Man, I cannot think of his name, but noted for his high motor, good linear closing speed, ability to redirect. So this dude will be a power 4 linebacker, a legitimate power 4 linebacker with significant long-term potential. Really excited for this kid. I don't think there's one on the list that I'm not excited for as of right now. We jump down. So like we talked about, Domata Peko Jr., out of Calabasas, California, edge player. So this is again, like we talked about, his dad over the offseason accepted the CU as D-line coach. One of them, I should say. There's a handful of them now with SAP and like we talked about on Monday's show. But he is 6'4", 220 pounds. So again, he will have 2 years of eligibility remaining. But he recorded 2 sacks this past year, I believe it was, recorded 2 sacks and 3 TFLs. So he will be entering another season there, where at the JUCO level. But again, this is a huge get. And again, we talked about this, as we've seen, there was, a lot of talk about the Polynesian pipeline. Peko, they brought some kids in far more than they did last year with, Polynesian descent. And this is, I'm excited for that. Hopefully they start landing these players again and get that back in because those dudes can play ball, man. Let's look at Xavier Payne, offensive tackle. So out of Orlando, Florida. So he is ranked number 935 nationally. Uh, KJ Edwards. There you go. Yeah. I always want to call him Dylan Edwards for some reason. I'm going to probably, even if he one day, comes back, hits the portal and hits, he's just probably going to be Dylan Edwards. And I feel like he should wear number 3. But beside the point, back to Xavier Payne, number 935 nationally, ranked as the number 78th offensive tackle and ranked 106th in Florida. Again, we're talking Florida here, being ranked, 106th in Florida is, it's a huge honor to do that. He is again, good football player. This dude is massive. So 6'7", 320 pounds. And again, this is something we're going to hit to a little bit later when we start diving deeper into the offensive line. But we look at these things, the offensive line is getting huge. I think we are starting to see now what it is CU is after. And again, it is like a huge offensive line, a dominating offensive line. Again, it always starts up front. So with him, massive offensive tackle, elite size and strength, described as a people mover, significant upside at either tackle or guard. Again, the Colorado coaching staff will be able to, figure out the best fit for him, where he needs to be. And again, that the staff, like we talked about, a lot of, Andre Giroud's there now, former CU legend there. Again, he was blocking right there at the intro for Bobby Purify and Chris Brown there in that Nebraska game. But even at the NFL level, Andre Giroud was a really, really good player. So really excited that he's on the staff. But Xavier Payne, back to him, sky's the limit for this guy, and I think, we keep going through these players, talking about them. And, a trend that you're going to see is these are really, really high upside guys. And again, we can sit here and talk about the 3-star recruit that they are, but that is where you build your team. It's kind of, when you look at the NFL draft, what is it, round 3 through 6, round 3 through 7? That's where you build your roster. That's where you build your depth. Again, you look at these 3-star recruits, they're the ones who get drafted the most. And again, there's more of 3-star recruits coming out of high school because, again, that 4-star and 5-star is pretty rare to get, especially that 5-star. But these 3-star players, though, this is where you build your roster at. This is where you get your depth. This is where you get players that, were under recruited, whether it be for one reason or another. But the Buffs here with all of these guys have these are really, really high ceiling guys, low floor. So next guy is safety Damonte Timms, Seffner, Florida, 3-star player. The 24/7 sports composite ranking for him, number 1,055 national, number 96 safety. And again, we have Florida again, number 124 in Florida. 6'1", 195 pounds. Again, prototypical size. I would expect him to put some more, weight and probably, an inch or two here before he even steps on foot at campus. So again, in my opinion, elite safety prospect, decommitted from Missouri to join Colorado, versatile in the secondary, ability to make plays on the ball, records tackles, PBUs, INTs, and sacks in his junior season. You're getting a good safety here, all-around safety. And again, this by the end of the season, would not be shocked to see him move up in the 4-star range as well. We move into Colobby Johnson, linebacker. So out of Washington, 3-star, so Sammamish, Washington. So he is number 1,330 nationally, number 117 linebacker, and number 13 in the state of Washington. 6'2", 195 pounds. And again, he has a good frame to be able to put on some weight and an inch or two before he gets there. And again, this CU recruiting staff, they're building a monster. These players are coming in, a few years ago, right? Like 4 years ago, even at this point, we would have been like, holy cow, they landed 2 4-stars. Wow, they got all these 3-stars. So this is huge. This is huge. You can definitely tell the prime effect here, even just in the recruiting. So he's described as a fast physical linebacker, exceptional speed, ran a 10.87 100-meter, two-way player, strong open field tackler. We'll see where they use him at, but he can play inside or outside linebacker. Interested to see where they end up lining him up at. But again, that's year away before he stepped. Well, I shouldn't say year. Early enrolled tons of options, but before he touches the actual field, a year away from that. Our last guy that I wanted to talk about, Maurice Williams. So this is a cornerback out of New Orleans. So he is 128th quarterback, 41st in Louisiana. And so this guy, so 5'11", 172 pounds. Really excited for him. Don't know a ton about him just yet. Got to watching a little bit of tape on him yesterday afternoon. Wasn't able to, fully make a scouting report on him. Just a little bit more about him. Edna Carr High School in New Orleans. 16 offers, official visits to Colorado. I want to say he originally, if I remember correctly, committed to Liberty, decommitted, and then here he is with CU now. So we'll see with him. Very excited. Received a couple offers from some Power 4 teams as well. And again, what other better place to go than Colorado than to learn from Prime? So we'll see about him. I want to watch some more film on him and get a better understanding of him. But that is right now the total commits. So again, it's 9. I believe I can get that for the next show, but it is we'll look at it though. There's a few dates that are coming up that we should be aware of for recruits, commitment dates where they're going to announce. So I think that needs to be on the horizon, and I'll get those pushed out as well. So with this though, just comment if you guys can what you think about this. So something I like to do in my spare time is write scouting reports where I learned how to do it. And part of it is, I would like to start sharing these with you all about some of the players that Colorado is interested in, and being able just to give, the look to what it looks like to actually look at a scouting report versus being told kind of, on, you'll see them sometimes, but they'll just give you a couple sentences here and there. But what critical factors are, alerts are, what this needs to look like, areas to improve on, strength 1, 2, 3. So I would like to push that out there just to get, our viewers here a little more familiar, give them some more content to look at, a couple more things to even talk about. And again, I'm not the end all be all by any means, but I think that more we know about it, even take some pointers from you all if you're, willing, but really would love to share those out. So comment, let me know here if that's something you all would be interested in. But we'll see how that goes. So what is the likelihood these commits make it on campus and don't commit? As far as visiting, or I don't understand the question. So I guess it depends if they so if they sign the letter, they're committed. Verbal commitments right now, which is the season that we're in. Verbally commits kind of mean nothing. It is what it is. But I think where we need to will they stay with CU depends. I guess everything's different. There is a very, very so will they stay with CU? So it just depends. So the transfer portal, as we all seen over the past couple seasons, is unpredictable. Your best player enters it. We look at the situation, with Tennessee with their quarterback, even some of the other, so now I'm going to say, Dylan Edwards a couple years ago, right? Grew up playing for Coach Prime, and he left Kansas State or back to Kansas. I said that's where he grew up. So it just depends. It's really, really unpredictable. I do think NIL with the $20.5 million kind of put a salary cap in place there. So we shouldn't see as many moving around. I wouldn't think. But again, this is kind of flying by the seat of their pants right now. All of this, the portal, the players that enter it. It just depends, I guess, on the player at this point and what they want to do. It is very, very unpredictable.